Hi students. Now the next topic is direct memory access. So how we are going to be access the data directly without using the CPU. Okay. So with the, in previous days, that is before DMA, CPU utilization will do this all these process, that means transferring. Okay, so with the help of direct memory access we can reduce the time also. Okay, so each and every time there is no need to go for CPU processor. Okay, so DMA means direct memory access. Directly we can access the data from main memory. Okay, here memory is called main memory. Okay, so the definition, coming to the definition, the transfer of block of data directly between an external device and main memory. Okay, continuous involvement by the processor is called DMA. So DMA is called as, in order to transfer the data directly. Okay, means because of this DMA we can reduce the burden on CPU. Okay, in previous days we use a CPU. Okay, for this purpose. Okay, so in order to reduce the time and burden on CPU we introduce a DMA. Okay, so in CPU also some controllers are there, like that in DMA also controller is there. That is, DMA controller is a control circuit that performs DMA transfers. Okay, and next one is a part of input and output device interface. Okay, and next it performs the function that would be normally carried out by the processor. So whatever the processor performs the task, that same task this DMA controller also performs. Okay, so while a DMA transfer is taking place, the processor can be used to execute another program. Okay, so see this diagram here, processor is there, bridge is there, main memory is there. Okay, so in order to get the data from main memory, here we use DMA. Okay, so DMA controller is there. Okay, disk is nothing but a secondary storage and ethernet interface. Okay, so in order to access the data, okay, in order to transfer the data, we use DMA. Okay, so with the help of DMA controller we can perform these three tasks. Okay, so coming to DMA interface, so for connecting purpose compulsory we require a interface. That interface is called as DMA interface. Generally DMA interface has three registers. So first register is used to storing starting address. So generally in order to transfer compulsory we require starting address and ending address and in between the data. Okay, so that's why we require three registers. So first register is used for storing the starting address, and second register is used for storing word count. So how many number of words are there, so that is maintained by secondary register. Next, coming to third register, contains status and control flags. Means it contains what is the current status and also control flags. Control flags means by placing the codes. Okay, so we can identify what is the status, and with the help of control flags we can identify how we control. Okay, with the help of status. Okay, so this is the diagram for DMA. Means three registers, status and control register. Okay, so read or write. Okay, IRQIE. Okay, then word count, starting address. So coming to read and write determines direction of the transfer. Okay, so with the help of this read and write we can determine the direction of the transfer. If read and write is equal to 1, the controller performs a read operation. That means it transfer data from main memory to input and output. Okay, otherwise if read and write is equal to 0, it performs write operation. That is, transfers the data from input and output to memory. Okay, so in both directions we can uh, write the data or read the data. Okay, if done is equal to 1, the controller, so here done is also there for 0. So if done is equal to 1, the controller has completed transfer of a block of data and it is ready to receive another command. That is here IE is there now. So that is called an interrupt enable. Okay, so if IE is equal to 1, the controller raises an interrupt after it has been completed transfer of block of data. Okay, it sends a notification like, so whatever the task that is going to be completed. Okay, next coming to IR0 is equal to 1. So IR0 is equal to 1, the controller requests an interrupt. Okay, so the request by DMA device for using bus are always higher priority than processor request. Okay, so uh, coming to processor request, it gives more priority to DMA devices request. Okay, that's why it is very fast transfer. Okay, so here we have two ways in which the DMA operation can be carried out. That is, processor originates most memory access cycle and DMA controller is set to steal memory cycle from processor. Hence, this technique is called cycle stealing. Okay, so this is a cycling process, this is a continuous process, that's why we call it it as a cycle stealing. Okay, next, DMA controller is given exclusive access to main memory to transfer of data without any interruption. So that's why we go for DMA. Okay, so with the help of DMA there is no interruption. Okay, so this is known as block mode or burst mode. Coming to bus arbitralization, so why we go for bus arbitralization means, generally in order to handle more than one request. Okay, so in order to handle the more than one request, we go for bus arbitralization. So this bus structure topic you already learned in your first unit. Okay, so more number of devices we can connect a single path, that path is called as a bus. Okay, generally the bus arbitralization, coming to definition, it refers to the process by which the current bus master access and then it leaves the control to bus and passes it to another bus requesting processing unit. That means it is a sequential, means first task finished, it send that request to another task. Okay, so see here, bus arbitralization is a device that is allowed to initiate data transfer on bus at any given time, called as a bus master. Okay, with the help of bus master we can initiate the data transfer at any time. Okay, there can be only one bus master at any given time. Okay, so at a time we use only one bus master only. So bus arbitralization is the process by which next device to become the bus master is selected. Okay, whatever the bus master is selected, that become the next. Okay, next device, and bus mastership is transferred to that device. Okay, we have generally two approaches are there, that is centralized arbitration, distributed arbitration. Okay, in centralized arbitration, single bus arbiter performs the required arbitration. So whatever the particular task we need to perform, then we use centralized arbitration. Coming to distributed arbitration, here all devices are participate in selection of next bus master. Okay, so why we go for arbitration means, generally a conflict may rise if both the processor and a controller or two DMA controllers try to use the bus at the same time to access the main memory. So in that situation some problems raises. That means at a time more than one devices sends a request to main memory for accessing data. So to resolve this problem, arbitration procedure is implemented on the bus to coordinate the activities of all devices requesting the memory transfers. Means it coordinates the all the devices. Okay, for for reducing that problem. Okay, for resolving that problem, it coordinates the activities of all devices. Okay, so the bus arbiter may be the processor or a separate unit connected to a bus. Okay, so coming to the centralized arbitration, this is the diagram for centralized arbitration. So BBSY is nothing but bus busy, and here is called as a bus request. Okay, so centralized arbitration means a single bus arbiter performs the required arbitration. So whatever the task we need to perform, that is only here performs. Okay, so normally a processor is a bus master, so processor may grant bus mastership to one of the DMA controllers. Okay, generally a DMA controller indicates that it needs to become the bus master by activating BR line. So in previous, generally processor works as this bus master, but in DMA controller, sorry, DMA controller activates the BR line in order to perform the bus master. So here DMA controller is the bus master. Okay, so the signal on the BR line is to the logical or of bus request from all devices connected to it. Okay, then the processor activates BG1. Okay, signal indicating to DMA controller to use bus when it becomes free. Okay, if the DMA controller is equal to 1, the requesting the bus, then DMA controller 1 blocks propagation of grants. That means in order to perform this BG1, it disable this BG2 or downstream to BG2. Okay, or blocks to other devices. So for performing only the BG1. Okay, after finishing the whatever the task performs by BG1, then it sends to BG2. So until that situation, that BG we downstream, or else we can block the propagation of grant signal to other devices. Okay, so current bus master indicates to all devices that is using by activating a BBSY line. So what is the current bus master? So it specifies by using it identifies. Okay, by using BBS line. So based on that we can identify the what is the current bus master. Okay, so the bus arbiter is used to coordinate the activities of all devices requesting memory transfers. Then arbiter ensures that only one request is granted at any given time according to priority scheme. Based on the priority, we can perform that task only. Okay, so this is the diagram for bus arbitration using daisy chain. Okay, so this is the daisy chain arrangement. Okay, so this is the timing diagram. So timing diagram shows the sequence of events for the devices connected to a processor. Okay, so how we perform processor, so how we perform with the help of processor, and how we perform with the help of DMA controller. Okay, so DMA controller unit request and acquires the bus mastership. Okay, so it acquires the bus mastership. Okay, in previous processor contains that capacity, that bus master capacity, but now this DMA controller acquires that mastership, and later it releases the bus. After DMA controller releases the bus, the processor resources bus mastership. Okay, coming to distributed arbitration. So in distributed arbitration, all devices participate in the selection of next bus master. Okay, so in previously one by one, but here all devices participate in the selection of next bus master. Okay, so each device on a bus is assigned a 4-bit identification number, that is ID. So if one or more devices request bus, then they assert start arbitration signal and place their 4-bit numbers on 4 open collectors. Here 4 open collectors are there now. So that is four open collectors lines, that is ARB0 through ARB03. See here. Okay, so a winner is selected as a result of interaction among signals transmitted over these lines. Okay, then next net outcome is that code on four lines sorry, net outcome is that code on four lines represents request that the highest id number. So which is the highest id number, that is going to be performed first. Okay, so advantage of this approach is high reliability, since operation of bus is not dependent on any single device. Okay, there is no dependency. Okay, so in previous dependency is there, so after finishing bg1 also it performs the bg2. Okay, based on the output of the bg1, bg2 performs, but here there is no dependency. Okay, so this is the dma sorry, direct memory access. This is the very important question. Okay, okay ma, thank you.